Welcome to E All The Way, a new prolonged series I will be providing you just to show you kind of the behind the scenes and the thought process behind why I'm going to be primarily covering eFootball. If you follow the channel, you know I've given each game try after try, and it's not necessarily that I can't cover all three football games. It's just the fact that right now, eFootball is simply the best game. Now, is it perfect? No. The biggest weak point is that they have a terrible meta with essentially a rush tactic or a pressure tactic that is made to overwhelm the opponent to where they can't breathe, steal the ball, and then play through balls over and over and over, right down the middle of the field, no width, no dynamic attacks, no build-up, and it can be quite frustrating, especially if you're newer to the game, but it is beatable. Are you still going to get frustrated by it and get beat by lesser skilled players sometimes with this? Absolutely, especially as you're newer and there's players that just simply know the ins and outs of eFootball, but I'd much rather embrace that than embracing the other things with these other games and the shortcomings they have, which are much, much worse. And in this video, we're going to go over the many reasons why eFootball is by far the best football game out. Number 1, set pieces. No more constant bicycle kick goals. No more constant unrealistic corner flicks that can't be defended because of a glitch. Just realistic set pieces, whether it's corners, free kicks, whatever it is. You can randomize the plays that you make, short corners, near post, far post, whatever runs you want to make. Free kicks, you can master them, shoot them in different ways, inside of the foot, outside of the foot, knuckle shots. If your players have that skill set, your free kick taker has that skill set, all of these things are possible, and you'll score if you do well on your free kick or corner kick, and you won't if you don't. And it's so many different outcomes, just like real football. Number 2 is speed of play or tempo, whatever you want to call it. Just proper football build-up. That's the bottom line. Never are you going to connect 1,000 passes in a row because you have pass lock. You just don't have that in real football. The game sometimes is going to go back and forth. Never are you going to just be able to mash skill moves and beat players with constant rainbows or constant spin moves. All of that is video game arcade nonsense, and it's okay if you don't have the ability, like maybe years ago when we didn't have the ability to create real football. But now we do, and eFootball has mastered all of the little tussles, all of the little intricacies of different types of passes, right? Sometimes the game gets a flow and you get momentum. Sometimes you just can't get any momentum going, and you have to battle that adversity and try to make things happen. That is the beauty of football, and can it be frustrating? 100%. I will be the first to admit that I got what I call FIFA brain, and honestly you could say UFL brain too, just because of all the pass assistance you get there. I mean, auto clearances where you just simply press the pass button and it locks onto a player up the field for you. No more of that. This is real football, real build-up, and while we are on that topic, real defense. Now, when I came into eFootball, just like many, I said the defense is overpowered. What is this pressure button? What is this AI assistance coming at you 1,000 miles an hour? And I still think it can be toned down, absolutely. However, I've since seen how easy it is to get carved up if you just run at an opponent or a player with the ball at 100 miles an hour, right? I've done it to opponents. I've got it done to myself. You have to be strategic about the pressure you put on. Again, do I think it could be toned down still? Absolutely, but you could still beat it without a doubt, and many times it can even benefit you when an opponent is rushing their players out of position. At the same time, if you time a tackle correctly, are you going to win the ball? Absolutely. If there's a stronger player you were trying to take the ball from, does he have a chance at holding you off? Yes. If you have a shiftier player that you're trying to take the ball from, does he have a chance at beating you on the dribble? Absolutely. The only unrealistic thing you could say is a cooldown period after you lose the ball where the attacker can't just win the ball back immediately, which is brilliant because that is one of the biggest problems that you see in other football games, where there are players that literally will exploit the fact that they can lose the ball on a bad dribble or a bad pass and just continue sprinting at the defender and get the ball right back. That is not realistic. eFootball Konami recognized this and made it to where that can't happen in their game. No, attackers don't have a cooldown period where they can't immediately get the ball back. But the fact that Konami recognized this issue that is created from attackers just winning the ball back and essentially taking away the skill of defense and handling it is huge. Look at the problem that FC's having. Look at the problem that minigames have when they don't recognize these issues and do something about them. Number 4 is real passing. Now that's the word you're going to hear over and over, is real. And the bottom line is this: passing can be ridiculous in football games, whether it's UFL having the pass lock where every pass goes directly to the player, so it really doesn't matter what stats your players have. Literally one of the most important aspects of football is rendered to being a nonsense attribute in UFL because it's a player lock. Every pass is perfectly to the player, no matter what kind of angle it's from, what kind of distance, wherever it's at on the field. Every player is just pinging the ball directly at the target, and that's just not football. FC does a much better job at this, except for every pass is 1,000 miles an hour. Every player has, it seems like, the ability to just zip the ball at maximum speed. And again, it's not realistic. In eFootball, it is all about timing. It is all about the amount of power you put on the pass, choosing the correct pass. And if you put all these things together and do well, you're going to create some beautiful build-up play. If you do not do this well, the pass is going to be bad, just like the shooting or any type of command. And it goes for any pass. Lob through ball, on the ground through ball, pass to the player's feet, right, low cross, whatever it is. Not to mention, they have 4 levels of passing, ranging from all the way manual to all the way assisted. So you can choose whatever level you're at based on, where you're at in the game. If you're brand new, you want full assistance, okay, go to level 1. If you want full manual, where you choose not only the power of the pass, but also the target of the pass and the exact location that you want the pass to be played to. So it is your choice. You can also change this as you go. For me, I'll give you an example. I'm on level 3 passing right now. Could potentially be on level 2, as you can probably see in many instances, but I have semi-assistance right now, and you can read the details of each of these levels of passing. But that is not all. They also add in the attribute factor, which is number 5, because it goes across the whole game, not just passing, and it is not just attributes, it is also the skill sets that each player possesses. And this is what creates each individual player identity, which eFootball Konami does it better than the competition by far. Every single player has their own attributes that match perfectly how they will perform in game, not to mention the added skill sets that will affect what a player is able to pull off on the pitch. For example, Vinny Jr. is an excellent dribbler, and he possesses several skill sets that allow him to do things on the dribble that other players can't do, whereas Pirlo is a superior passer, one of the best ever, and he can do several things with passing combined with the high passing attributes that other players can't do. It's not a situation where a Vinny passes like a Pirlo or a Pirlo dribbles like a Vinny. This is for every player in every position, including goalkeeper, because just like every other player, certain goalkeepers perform certain ways and are capable of doing certain things. So this adds to the intricacy of the game, because not only do you need to have the skill to play football and make the right decisions, but you have to know when you're passing to a certain player, or even when you're attempting to pass, what that player on the ball is capable of doing, what the target you are playing to is capable of doing as far as receiving the ball, shooting the ball. All of these things add to the skill gap in eFootball, and it makes for an excellent, realistic football experience where you are in control of your team, but knowing what the players' capabilities are on the pitch is going to help maximize what you're able to accomplish, and obviously that is a skill. Moving on to number 6, one of the most fun things, if not the most fun thing in football games, is scoring goals. You can also add in attack or build up into attack, whatever. eFootball is crushing the competition in this as well, because there's so much variety, there's so much that goes into it. We were just talking about the attributes and the skill sets, and there are so many variables when it comes to the attack and who's shooting the ball, what kind of goal it is. Is it a cross? Is it a volley? Is it on the strong foot, the weak foot? Obviously, there's so many different types of shots. For instance, a curling shot, a knuckle shot, an outside curler, right, or trivela. eFootball brilliantly incorporates all of the finer things with scoring goals, but they do not go crazy on it either. It is still realistic. You're not going to just score every single shot. The power of your shot matters. Like I said, the attributes of the shooter, as well as capabilities as far as shooting skills goes. There's just so much involved in goals, and it creates for a wide variety of scoring, and it's not guaranteed. You have to possess all these things. It is absolutely a skill to score goals in eFootball, and they do a good job of not simplifying it to the point where every goal is the same and it gets monotonous and boring, but also not going crazy like some games do where every goal is just unrealistic, right? And when you put the cherry on top, which is our number 7 reason why eFootball is superior to other football games, and that is animations. Not just in shooting and scoring goals, but also in every aspect, whether it's passing, heading, the defensive animations. eFootball does a great job, not just with the current players and just football plays in general, but with these legends of the game, which many games butcher, namely FC. We won't even go into the attributes and how they make many players just not true to what they were and how they tie to the history of the game, why they're so great, but we're talking about how they look. When Haaland goes for a volley in eFootball, he looks like how Haaland would look going for a volley in real life. When Cantona is dribbling, then hits a bomb in eFootball, he looks like how Cantona looked dribbling and hitting a bomb in real life. When Rudiger goes into a smashing tackle in eFootball, it looks just like he would look going into a smashing tackle in real life, and so on and so forth. It is incredible that they not only got all of the football plays correct as far as animation goes, but the players themselves look like their real life counterparts, and that is special when you're talking about the legends of the game and being able to control them within your team on the pitch. If they don't look or feel like that real life counterpart, it's just not the same. But when you are making a dashing run and score a goal with Maradona, for instance, or a Ruud Gullit, or whoever, a Bebeto, it goes on and on. Every single player, they match perfectly to the real-life counterpart. Not only in animations, though, that's what we're talking about here, but it's across the board. Attributes, skill sets, the whole nine. When you add excellent animations to excellent mechanics, it makes for a great football game. That's just the bottom line. And making a great football game goes beyond the pitch, which is our number 8 reason eFootball is the best: tactics. Hands down, it's not even a competition. The details in the tactics that eFootball provides is incredible. This is a whole nother video on the detail and the tactics, but just to summarize, whether it's the manager and the play styles they specialize in, the way you can manually change every formation and put players particularly where you want them, to the importance in utilizing players in the specific player role they specialize in, as well as choosing how to best play each individual opponent based on their tactics. You get to see their lineup, the players they have. You can choose things such as tight marking, man marking, deciding whether you want a defensive midfielder to drop into a 5-back situation, maybe keep a player pushed up top or stop a player from drifting wide or drifting forward. Every detail is accounted for, and every game starts before you even get on the pitch. It is a skill off the pitch. That is incredible. No other game even comes close to that. Obviously, I could go on and get as detailed as I wanted. The bottom line is, during content creation for 3 different games, I've gone deep into each of these games and what makes them good, what makes them bad, and everything in between. And that's why I've come up with all of these things, not just for this game but for the other games. I know for a fact eFootball is the best, so this is literally just scratching the surface. But I will just end with our number 9 reason eFootball is the superior, the top football game without a doubt, and that is gratification, or you want to call it satisfaction, whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line is the rewarding feeling you get when you have success playing eFootball, when you put in the time to get better, to learn the different skills, to play the right way on the pitch, the feeling you get when you score goals, when you make a good stop defensively. All of these things in eFootball feel good because they are an accomplishment, because there's absolutely skill in every single thing, choosing the right tactics for every single game. All of the different aspects of eFootball come with a rewarding feeling because you accomplish something, right? They all have a skill, and that's not the case for every football game. When there's stuff that's automatic, right? When there are details that are missed, it takes away from that rewarding feeling. It takes away from that feeling of accomplishment. And there's no gratification in playing those other games in many aspects, right? So, without a doubt, you can't underappreciate or ignore the fact that the most satisfying football game by far, on top of every other reason, is eFootball. So, as I said earlier, I could go much deeper than these 9 reasons just because I have been meticulously breaking down every football game, going back and forth, positives, negatives, and everything in between. And the reason for that is because I believe my channel needs a foundation or a foundational game to cover. It doesn't mean that I won't cover the other football games. However, more time in a game means more support you can provide within that game. When you were just sort of skimming the surface of each game, I feel like you were shorting the viewers, you were shorting your subscribers, and that's against everything I want to do with this channel. I want to provide players with the help they need to get to the level they want to get to, and I believe that's missing. A lot of times you have top pros that see YouTube and providing tactics and things like that as just a way to make an extra few bucks, so they'll copy and paste just about every formation in the game and just say, oh, here's the tactics. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to provide you with what works, with what the meta is. And if that's one formation, one setup, and I can't make a million videos, then so be it. I'm doing this to help you guys out, just like I coach to help the players out. I'm not doing this for clicks, views, or to potentially make a bunch of money. I literally want to help you improve at these football games. So when I'm playing a game that has all these exploits such as UFL, and I know that skill isn't going to prevail over these exploits, how could I possibly keep giving you guys these videos that I know aren't going to truly help you win? So you go in, you practice all these different things such as my defense masterclass, or you use my tactics and study the reasons why they are useful, and you go in and utilize them and you're doing everything right, but then a player does this exploit and that exploit and they end up winning, and you face that time and time again. Obviously I knew that, but I didn't forewarn you. I would be a POS, and there's too many of those type of content creators anyway. So I'm going to tell you the nitty-gritty of every single game, the truth, the raw facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, no matter how it sounds, no matter how much it might make players not play a game that I get a lot of views on, no matter how much it might chase players away because the game that I'm saying is the best they might not like or might not play. It is what it is. This is what I've found based on playing every single game, and as you can see, it's not like I sugarcoat anything. I have talked in positive ways and negative ways about every single game. I don't bite my tongue at all. I don't sugarcoat, and that's one thing I can guarantee you, that you will always get the cold hard facts with me, nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, I hope you at least give eFootball a try if you haven't. If you played it in the past and just can't do it, I totally understand, but I can also tell you without a doubt that UFL is not the way to go, because it is not a skill-based game. If you do put your time into that game, you just have to accept the fact that the best way to win is using exploits, and many players that play that game, that's exactly what they do. So you just have to expect that. FC, not the exploits part, but just the toxic nonsense that continues to pour into the game. No matter what, they finally make a big patch, they finally improve the game at levels that they never have before, but as always, a ratty, toxic player base has been prevailing, and it just makes the game, like I said, it's not gratifying to play, it's not fun. So why play? Why waste your time and torture yourself doing something you don't like? Gaming in general is not supposed to be a chore. It's not supposed to be a game that you are miserable playing. So just a couple things to think about. It's a free to download game, so at the very least you could go in, start the training process. Obviously, even in the eFootball, their divisions or their version of divisions, you simply play the AI to start, which is great because it's a great learning experience, and you could at least get the feel of the game. Because obviously, when you face user opponents, it does change. Yes, I hate the meta right now. There's a whole nother video I'm going to do on the areas that greatly need improvement. However, it is still the best game by far, and there's many good things about this game outside of the meta. So, keep grinding, keep having fun, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.